Okay, so Andy has changed shirts into what he deems to be a rippable Hanes, and he's on his knees on his chair. Let's see what happens.
All right.
Okay. Dear Shandy. Welcome back to another Dear Shandy Bachelorette recap, listeners. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
How are you today?
Feeling good.
Yes. Do you feel like you can breathe?
Yeah, oxygen.
To start our housekeeping today, we are clearly not at home for anyone watching on YouTube. We are in a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, a true cabin in the woods.
Yeah, we are surrounded by thicket.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't used that word in a while. I was looking forward to using it.
Yeah, the dog went out and got covered in
Little burrs.
Just hundreds of burrs.
Yeah.
She doesn't care though.
No.
You know, it's a good attitude.
They're the
she
tiny
has.
little ones though. They're not the spiky ones.
They're very gentle. They're classy birds.
Yeah, they are classy
Yeah.
birds. Do we have any other housekeeping before we get to episode 3 of The Bachelorette?
Well, I think we each have an apology.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
The Shandys, I know, have a certain level of expectation for me.
Uh-huh.
And I believe that I let them down last week.
Okay.
And you had mentioned something about eating beaver. And I failed to capitalize on that.
Yes.
And
You
for
didn't even
that-
notice.
Yeah.
Neither did I,
I
honestly.
didn't notice.
But that's less
I
surprising.
was really caught up in the moment. And for that, I sincerely apologize to the Shandys. I let you down. And I'll make sure, or do my best, I can't promise, but I'll do my best to not let that happen again.
And for me, I'd like to apologize to my future brother-in-law, Jordan, who I maligned in episode 1 when I said that both my sisters were handier than their partners.
Yeah.
And he's actually quite handy, it turns out. I feel like I need to right this wrong. I'm sorry, Jordan. Okay, shall we get going?
Yeah.
All right, so episode 3 picks up with, I thought this was pretty funny. The cold open is just a viewer discretion is advised, except it's around men thrusting and gyrating. It took me a second, I confess, for me to realize that it was a joke.
Oh, I thought at first it was serious.
Yeah, until they said the thrusting, gyrating part, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I thought this was pretty clever.
Yeah, it was.
And now it's Melbourne continued, and I'm
That's
going
right.
to continue saying Melbourne because
right.
I love Jenn as Bachelorette, I really do. But the Melbourne
Can't have it.
The Melbourne is,
I can't have it.
it's just something about it. It only works if everything else you're saying is also in an Australian accent.
Yeah, no, it only works. It's every single time you say any word that's not American.
Yeah.
You have to say it in the domicile of where it came from.
Yes. So we pick up with a man chat of the guys agreeing to keep peace. Of course, this doesn't last very long. But first, we have a one-on-one date with Spencer.
Spencer.
I wrote woohoo.
Yeah.
Because I was excited about
It's
this.
our wild card.
Yeah. I mean, our wild card is really pulling through. He greets her with an "I've missed you so much" and a kiss and a slight butt grab.
Side butt. More of a hip, I say.
Upper side butt hip.
Yeah. It
Touch.
was in the top left quadrant of butt.
It was. But what I saw when I saw that was that it would seem there's closer than I thought.
Yeah, and that's the thing about editing. You know, they have to keep secrets on this show.
Yeah.
They can't just be like, if the guy who's going to win, they know who's going to win, obviously. And they can't be like, oh, well, let's just show him a lot.
Yeah.
They have to keep it secret.
Yeah.
So we never know. And sometimes you see things like that and you're like, wait a minute, have they been hiding stuff from us?
Yes. They ride in a helicopter and they fly over the 12 apostles.
The 12 apostles.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, limestone. You know what's interesting? I always think about with these things, like the 12 apostles, these geological tourist attractions.
Yeah.
It's like we have names for them
Yeah.
as humans. But in geological time, these things are just a passing phase.
Yeah.
We see them as permanents, like the Grand Canyon,
Yeah.
Niagara Falls, or this thing, the 12 Apostles. I've never heard of this before, but it's something.
I'm shocked. That seems like something you would
I don't know
hear.
about the 12 Apostles, but I do know that there will someday be 8 apostles, and there will someday be 4 apostles, and then someday there will be 0 apostles.
Are you saying apostles?
Apostles.
Is it not apostle?
I think the T is silent.
Is it?
Apostle.
Apostle?
I think it's apostle. Apostle?
I thought it was apostle.
I'm pretty sure it's apostle.
Oh, am I embarrassing myself right now?
I'm not 100% sure. But that's not the point. The point is that we have these names as humans. We always think of them as permanence.
Yes.
It's like the 12 apostles will always be there. The Grand Canyon will always be there. But really, if you are a geological being, like you're a mountain, let's say you're Mount Everest looking at the 12 apostles, that's the equivalent of like a leaf blowing past the street into the gutter.
Well, that's because for humans, like it's so much more permanent than we are.
Yeah.
The Grand Canyon.
That's what I'm saying. The Grand Canyon will be there. It was there before we were here,
Yeah.
and it will be there after we were here. But as far as geology is concerned, the Grand Canyon is just like it's nothing. It's like sand blowing in the wind.
Oh, wow. Andy.
That's two wind blowing analogies I made. Both not great, but you get the point.
Back with the guys, Sam M and Thomas N are angrily talking about Devin, and Sam M says Devin may be smooth with his words, but he's smooth with his, and he shows his fists. And thus begins a theme for Sam M. I mean, there are many themes with Sam M in this episode, but I have beef with anyone, but especially men who are like, oh, well, I'll handle that with my fists. Like, let's go outside. You want to take this outside? It's like, I'll snap you in half. He says that later. It's just like...
Well, they're animals.
Yeah,
He's literally an animal.
He's just so like... It's so base.
Yeah.
The fact that he keeps resorting to these references to violence against Devin suggests that when he says he's smooth with his words, like I think he's showing his own insecurity. Yeah. It's like, well, I'm strong. I can punch you.
Yeah.
I think it's very low.
It's the lowest form of confrontation.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I can commit felony assault on you, and therefore I can win this argument.
Yeah. Ooh. And now in the evening on the date, Jenn says the most surreal part of her day was what a gentleman Spencer was. I do think Spencer's a gentleman, but I also found this a little sad that would be the most surreal part of her day where she flew over the 12 apostles. Spencer reveals he's been engaged before now. They bought a house together, and 12 months before the wedding, his soon-to-be wife came back from a trip, packed up her stuff, said she needed time, and went and stayed with her parents, and then he would soon discover that she had been cheating on him, and that was really hard to recover from. He was left to pick up the pieces. And Jenn asks if he has an inherent distrust now, and is he ready for an engagement? And he says, of course, that yes, he is.
Of course, why not?
And she gives him the rose. And while this was very moving, we love Spencer. We both felt, I'm glad you said it first. We were both thinking it. Mm-hmm. We felt Jenn was maybe kind of sort of phoning it in.
Yeah, it really seemed like that.
Yeah, just the look in her eye. I do think she was moved by his story. I think she deeply appreciates Spencer. But appreciating someone is not the same as having a romantic love for someone.
She seemed dead in the eyes.
Yes.
Her mouth was saying the things, but her eyes weren't.
Yeah.
And I feel like she was either very tired or more likely she just, this wasn't the guy. Yeah,
versus Marcus, for example, last week.
She lights up.
Yeah, when Marcus was telling his story, she was deeply moved by it. I don't know. Maybe we're not giving this connection the credit it deserves, but that's how we felt about it. Back at the hotel now, we get a date card for the group date. Going on this date are Dylan, Marcus, Thomas A, John M, Grant, Jonathan, Sam N, Thomas N, Sam M. And finally, ... Devin. Sam in his ITM, Sam M in his ITM says, Devin, if there's a competition, I'll step on your neck. That's all I know.
All right.
Again.
Well, stepping it up. All full Cro-Magnon. He's gone. That's it.
He's so superior. They are taken to a theater where the Australian Thunder from Down Under performs.
Yeah, Thunder from Down Under, famous.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like the Chippendales of the other hemisphere.
I was fascinated by the shirts used by this performance group.
Yeah. Yeah, they all rip so easily. Or is that just, are they doing that with strength? Or is that just a shirt that has like a seam down the middle?
It did feel like they buy a certain type of shirt. It was very likely a Hanes shirt.
I'm telling you, there's no way. I couldn't pull this Hanes apart.
Yeah.
I'm not that weak. I mean, if my life depended on it, I had adrenaline running through me, maybe I could get like a little rip in the collar.
Yeah.
I don't think I could pull this shirt apart like that.
Look, I get that that's their thing. And maybe I don't mean to be a stick in the mud. I really don't. But the number of shirts that were ripped apart in this segment alone, including later on when someone, I won't spoil, when someone wins the competition of that day and he's being crowned the winner and the guys are all around him just like ripping new shirts again.
Yeah.
Like, what was the point of that?
You know
I don't
what
know.
I'm
I
gonna
just see that and I'm like, where are those shirts going? Are they just going in landfill after this? I hope they're getting recycled. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but did anyone else think
You know what?
this?
Can I tell you something? No one in the history of the world has ever gone to the Thunder Down Under performance and worried about recycling. That's really impressive. I love you for that.
It's just the garment industry.
The garment industry is rough, but especially in the male stripper industry, apparently. You know what I'm going to do after this? I'm not going to do it now because I actually like, this is one of my better hands.
Okay.
But I have...
This is one of your better.
Yeah, this is a high quality hands. I mean, there is a range.
Okay.
But I have a Hanes shirt that I did bring here. It's kind of like, it's almost on the way out. It's like a few weeks away from being retired. And I'm going to try it.
At the end of this recap?
Yeah, I'm going to try to rip it in half. No, right now.
At the end of this recap?
Yeah, at the end of this recap, I'm going to try to rip the shirt in half.
Okay, so we're going to, that's something to look forward to. You have to stick around.
Yeah, that's the teaser.
So they learn some moves from Australian Thunder from Down Under, and this is brilliantly edited, I have to say. Even though we can all have our misgivings around what the men are being forced to do despite their discomfort, especially if you imagine the roles being reversed, like the gender roles being reversed. I have to admit this was A, extremely entertaining, and B, unbelievably well edited.
Oh yeah.
Like the music, the use of like the freeze when they would do the body roll, the dolphin dive, the grip and rip, and you'd hear a woman go like,
I mean, it was 18 editing.
It was
question.
fantastic. And Jenn tells the group, I'm not looking for the best abs. And the camera, this pissed me off. The camera shot straight to Devin's stomach.
Can you imagine? Just imagine. I mean, right off the bat, this whole date night or date day, it was a day, I guess, is so unbelievably hypocritical in the whole scheme of, male, female inappropriateness.
Yes.
But then imagine if this was women. Okay, imagine it's all women like doing a striptease contest. Who does the best? And then they talk about good abs and they go to a woman who's got flabby abs.
Yeah.
Imagine that. It would be the end of the world. The world would end.
Yeah.
There'd be no TV left.
And not even, the word flabby isn't even right. It's just like didn't have like the most defined stomach.
But I'm just saying
because in my opinion, like I don't think Devin deserved that.
No, he's like a normal guy.
He's a normal, like he has a perfectly good body. It's just these other guys
are going to the gym 7 hours a day.
It's insane how much these other people.
Fair.
This is not do not have normal.
No,
like I live in normal life bodies. Like they work out like insane amounts.
I would even say for America, Devin is ripped,
and we respect Devin for not going down that path. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he easily could have been like, "Oh, I'm going on TV."
He knew he had time.
Yeah.
He could have gotten a trainer and done the whole thing.
Yeah,
it's like, no, I'll lead with my personality.
Do people do that? Is that what they're supposed? Is that what I was supposed to do?
Yeah, I always imagine that.
I didn't do that. I just wore one pieces. So Sam N is having a hard time. He feels very uncomfortable with being put in this position where he has to take off his clothes in front of.
Let's just call him Salmon. He's Salmon.
Oh, sorry,
because
Salmon.
It's just too confusing.
And he rightfully says in his ITM, this has nothing to do with what I'm here for.
That's fair.
Yeah. I felt for Salmon.
I would have not been happy about this competition.
No, this is like my worst nightmare. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
And Devin admits he's scared and doesn't have the body for this. This just like broke my heart. It broke my heart to hear him. Like he was just so honest about how uncomfortable he was.
Again, imagine if the sexes were switched.
Again, yes. Okay, so now it's the Bachelorette's Love Down Under. And again, this is really well edited. Like there's symbols for when they rip off the very rippable clothes. Dylan was the CE who makes you O. He's adorable.
Nice.
I love Dylan.
Yeah.
Marcus was Neil Real Strong.
Pretty weak.
Real Strong?
As opposed to Neil Armstrong. Yeah, I guess Real Strong.
Real Strong? I felt like there was a better play on words to be had in there. But he was shockingly good at this.
He was.
There were some other highlights, including Johnny Fire Cheeks. Sam M is Chef Fluster. This was a play on Jenn having said that he makes her flustered. He gets a new song, and with the ladies now, like he's like honestly, like in my opinion, too good at this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like not. Weird. he's so good at doing this
I feel like he may have done it professionally.
or that like I can't look at that and be like, oh, that's attractive. Like,
Yeah.
I see someone who's really into himself.
Yeah, I feel like he's worked on those moves,
Yes.
alone.
Yes.
And that makes me very uncomfortable. Cozy Earth takes bamboo and makes it great for you. No, that's no.
They do. No, I accept. I accept that jingle.
No.
But Andy, it's true. Cozy Earth does take bamboo and they create viscose from it.
Yeah.
The viscose from bamboo is the Cozy Earth, their signature fabric. It is what makes our bed sheets, which are, by the way, in addition to being unbelievably soft and silky, they're also temperature regulating, which is great at this time of year because it's hot outside.
And our towels, which dry us with such elegance.
Yes. And lounge pants. I
Do I need to talk about these lounge pants? I wear these every day.
Yeah, Andy's viscose from bamboo, joggers from Cozy Earth. I actually recently finally got my own pair and I love them. You know what I like about them? They're my new travel pants, like my airplane pants, because I get that pajama feel. But they look like joggers. You know, they look like pants that you would wear out and about. It doesn't look like you're wearing pajamas. That's important.
And you know what else it doesn't look like? It doesn't look like it's fading. And by it doesn't look like it's fading, it doesn't fade. And I'm going to prove it because we now have this blackberry wall behind us.
Yeah.
Which is blackberry, not to be confused with black.
Yes.
And look at this. How old are these?
They're
ancient.
3+ years old.
And I wear them every day. Okay, ready? Look at this. Look at that. Look at the wall and look at my pants.
Yeah. Look how black those are. Like it defies logic. When you feel Cozy Earth's viscose from bamboo, you're like, why isn't all fabric made like this?
And also, can we talk about bamboo, the most sustainable, amazing plant on earth?
Yeah,
do you know
incredible.
bamboo can grow up to 4 inches a day?
Amazing.
4 inches. You can see it grow. You can literally watch it and it's growing. You see it moving.
Amazing. It's what we're meant to be making things out of. Plus, all bedding and bath products come with a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty.
So get 30% off at cozyearth.com/Shandy using code Shandy.
And don't forget to tell them we sent you in the post-purchase survey.
To get free socks. It's the ZOC in the DOC. Booking my appointments like a straight up G.
Andy, you're so badass.
Yeah.
But it's true. ZocDoc deserves love. They deserve to be serenaded about, rapped about, because, you know, ZocDoc has given us so much. It has.
It's given us everything. It's given us health. It's given us the gift of health and peace of mind.
Yes.
What more do you want?
You can't put a price on those. Seriously, ZocDoc, we've been using since long before ZocDoc became a sponsor. We continue to use it. I don't even look anywhere else. When I am booking a doctor's appointment or a dentist's appointment, any kind of appointment, when I saw the dermatologist recently, it really is a search engine and you can search first based on your location. Obviously, this is very important. But next, by how highly the doctor is rated. Like I look at ratings for everything. Like when I buy anything online, I look at reviews. Why wouldn't you do that with a doctor?
It's the one thing you should 100% look at ratings for.
Yes, more than anything else.
More than anything. Let's say you have a bad meal, whatever. You have a bad meal. You go to a bad movie, who cares? 2 hours of your life.
The
you go to
doctor?
a bad doctor?
No.
That could be it. That could be it for you.
Can't be done. So you can select based on ratings. And let me tell you, these ratings are accurate. And then you can also filter by whether or not doctors take your insurance. So that eliminates all the options where you would be paying totally out of pocket. What a time saver. And then this is really the cherry on top. The fact that you can book the appointment with said doctor within ZocDoc. You never have to pick up the phone. So ZocDoc is the free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors and instantly book appointments with them online.
We're talking in-network appointments with over 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty.
From mental health to dental health, eye care to skincare, and more.
Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast.
Typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking, you can even score same-day appointments.
So stop putting off those doctor's appointments.
And go to ZocDoc.com/Shandy to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/Shandy, ZocDoc.com/Shandy.
The ladies, so I forgot to mention, Jenn is joined by 2 former Australian bachelorettes. And they point out the sexual chemistry here between Jenn and Sam M. And I love that one of them is like, be careful with that. Like I went for that sexual chemistry. It did not work out.
Great advice.
Yes. And now Devin. Oh my God. So he's the dirty detective. And I don't think anyone would disagree with us in saying that this was the highlight He was so funny.
This was the hardest we've ever laughed during this entire franchise.
We both, did you cry? I
cried.
We
I had
both
tears.
cried laughing.
I had tears. I can't remember the last time I cried from tears.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, cried with tears.
You said, Andy, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen on this franchise. I take back anything negative I've ever said about Devin. And then when you find out later his insecurities about his body, you know, at this point he had only said, oh, I'm scared. I don't have the body for this. I'm uncomfortable. But later on we learn that he was quite heavy as a child, and he had a lot of issues with his body and body image. And then when you find out that he was put in this position and he did as well as he did, like he was able to turn it into a comedy act while still, you know what he truly did was understand the assignment.
Yes.
Sam M thinks he understood the assignment. Devin understood the assignment. This was
not about who was the best male stripper. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know what? I'll tell you something. Even in the male stripping genre, I give him high points.
Oh, are you kidding? He had good moves.
Yeah, and good rhythm, everything. I was into that dance. It was more engaging than the others, even if it was, take all the funniness out.
Yeah.
I was more into that dance than the other sexy dances.
I could not agree more. And even Sam M mutters under his breath, this guy. Like he can't, like you can tell he's annoyed.
Can't handle it.
He's annoyed at how good it is.
He got beat. He got hung by his own petard.
He gets hung by his own petard with Devin all the time.
All the time.
Multiple times throughout this one episode.
You know, this is another apology I have. First of all, I forgot my initial apology, which was that I forgot my black cozy pants. So
he's wearing his burgundy ones.
Yeah.
They are also cozy.
But these are cozy earth. So, you know, staying true. Anyway, but my other apology is that I was 100% wrong about anything mildly negative I said about Devin in episode 1. Devin is a star.
We already said that.
No, but you said that. I want to make clear that it's from me. It's me.
I was quoting you. And then finally, Sam N, he goes as the love virgin, so the thing he came out as in the beginning of the show. Yeah. And he says, cut the music. And Andy, you said, please be funny, please be funny. But it was, alas, not very funny.
Oh, no.
He said he's not bearing his skin, he's bearing his soul. He says he's already falling in love with Jenn. The whole thing is a little cringy, can I say?
Yeah.
I feel bad saying this because I think Salmon was very uncomfortable and just, I understand he didn't want to strip. I get that. I still think that he could have just said something without kind of going all like so full throttle.
He could have made the not stripping a little lighter.
Yeah. I think that he could have done a number of things, and a lot of people have been like, I understand. Like, I didn't want to strip either. Like, I respect what you're doing instead. I found this like, it felt cheap.
Very cheap.
Yeah.
It felt also, I hate to say it, it was a little cowardly. Like, I know that it's not, no one wants to do this. Like, I would be miserable if I had to do this. But I just bite the bullet and do it because that's the assignment. It was a cop-out. It was cringy. It was too serious. It wasn't light. And it was unfair, I thought, to the rest of the guys who actually had to put their full embarrassment on the line.
Well, yeah,
at least for everyone except Sam M, who loves doing this. But it was embarrassing.
Yeah. And I feel like he could have done a number of other things. Like, he could have done a silly dance. He didn't have to take his clothes off.
No.
Or
he could have done a tap dance.
Yeah. Or said a poem, or just like come up with something that didn't feel like, well, I'm going to do a mic drop by just saying this. Because look, I understand that he's never been in love. That's his whole thing. And I also understand that in that environment, you are made to feel like you are in love with someone when maybe you are not. So I don't mean to discredit that, but I don't know. I think that he could have come up with something else, is all I'm saying.
He failed the assignment.
He not only didn't understand the assignment, he failed the assignment.
And I think Jenn did not appreciate it. I don't think it landed with her. I don't think she was like, oh, that's what I really wanted this whole time, is for someone to just tell me they love me.
Yeah.
No.
Especially when they haven't had a date.
They haven't had a date. They haven't had any real time to show or anything. No.
Yeah.
Very big fail.
Okay. So Jenn crowns her winner. I got to say, I was very upset. It was not Devin.
I was very, very disappointed in her.
It was Jonathan, the Johnny Fire Cheeks.
And you even saw the look on Devin's face. He was just like, well, are you kidding me? Like, what did I have to do to win this?
Yeah, I felt Devin should have gotten this
Yes.
personally. But, you know, he does end up getting the group date rose, so
That's true.
he gets the real prize. Now in the evening, we have some one-on-one time. Jonathan starts with a kiss, basically saying he didn't want to put her in a position of being interrupted by other people while she was kissing him. I thought this was really sweet.
Yeah, it was.
I like Jonathan.
I do too.
I take back the things I said about him. And
well, you only criticized his limo entrance.
Yeah, his limo exit entrance shtick really, I don't know, it annoyed me, but he's really growing on me. I like his style. I think he's the season's best dressed so far. And I just thought, you know, it's one thing to be like, oh, I want this. I've been thinking about this and just going in for a kiss. But I actually genuinely believe that he was like, I want to have a kiss with you, but I also don't want to make it an awkward thing later when someone interrupts us. Like, he's very acutely aware of the ticking clock.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was very realistic. It was relatable, this move. Devin now in his one-on-one time, in his ITM heading into it, he said that he had been really insecure in the stripping setting. And he tells Jenn that going into that mode was a real challenge. He was a heavy kid. He hated his own reflection. He's worked really hard, and he thanks her for giving him the confidence to do that. This is so touching.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sam M, there comes a point where you're the common denominator. I think that up until this point, you could have been like, oh, Devin's the common denominator because first it was Aaron, now it's Sam M, and some Thomas N. But actually, it's really just Sam M and Thomas N. Aaron even backed out. You didn't see Aaron and Devin having an issue in this episode. Meanwhile, Sam M having such an issue with Sam N's performance, him saying, I'm falling in love with Jenn, blah, blah, blah. Like, why does that offend you so much?
Sam M is a bully and a coward.
Yeah.
He dislikes Devin because Devin has a big personality. And Sam knows he doesn't have a big personality. As he said, I lead with my smooth fists. I don't even think he said it that eloquently, but you get the point.
Yes.
And he doesn't like weakness because he's a bully. And what Salmon did was weak.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah.
And bullies hate weakness. They thrive on it. It feeds them.
His inability to just look at that and be like, oh, he was doing that because he was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like he was doing that, like I said, out of a move of desperation. Like, we agree that it was a weak move, but you don't need to be personally offended by someone's weak move.
Yeah.
You can be like, I understand why you did that.
You know what Sam M is, in my opinion, and I usually don't use this word, but he is toxic masculinity.
I mean, in this episode, I was getting that vibe.
Yeah.
His inability to have empathy for why Sam N did what he did.
Yeah.
God, why do they have to have the same name with like slightly different second initials?
Terrible.
Sam N with Jenn now says he doesn't even know how to hold her hand. So earlier he said he's falling in love with her. He doesn't know how to hold her hand.
That's cute, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something that should have been said probably, but I know what he's talking about, and I respect the feeling.
Yeah, there's something about him that's like he's like a little kid.
Yeah.
He feels very sheltered.
Yeah.
And I love this. Jenn, she's so kind. She's really good at relating to people and putting them at ease. She tells Salmon to never feel ashamed of how he feels.
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
The right response.
Okay, so meanwhile, Sam M and Thomas N are talking shit about Sam N. So they've moved on from Devin for a moment. And Devin notices this and says that those two are doing what they do best, snickering about others. So Sam N addresses the group now. He feels like everyone's talking about him. And he says, yes, he could have worded what he had said in front of everyone better, the I love you thing. And Sam M and Thomas N are basically laughing in his face.
Yeah.
And I love this. Devin steps in to defend him. And he says that Sam N deserves to feel how he feels. Anyone who says that's not right has their own issues. I was so touched by this that I actually teared up a little bit.
Standing up for the little guy.
Devin made me cry twice in this episode.
He is the anti-bully.
And then this turns into a heated conversation between Sam M and Devin about mutual respect. And somehow Sam M in his ITM calls Devin the bully.
Right. Of course.
Mutual respect. what has Sam M shown that shows mutual respect for other people?
Nothing.
He doesn't respect Sam N having had a moment of discomfort on a stage or panicking or doing whatever he was going through to cause him to say what he had said. And then when he tries to backtrack his words or admit that he had said things wrong, he just laughs at him. Mm-hmm. And then Devin, meanwhile, it's like he talks too much. Okay, then he's this. He's a bully. He's blah, blah. Like, where's the mutual respect coming from him? He doesn't have any understanding for anyone who's not exactly the way he is and who doesn't behave the way he would behave.
Yeah. Well, he has no empathy.
No.
And he has no respect for anyone who isn't a tough guy.
Yes, who has smooth fists.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Sam M has his one-on-one time. And even his vibe as he goes in with Jenn, I'm just like...
Hate it.
I'm annoyed that she is giving him...
I'm annoyed too.
Yes.
It makes me think less of her.
And look, I get it. Like, we've all been there with someone who just like makes you weak in the knees. But... This is going to burn down real fast. I am convinced. Yeah. This is like a sparkler on a cake instead of like a thick candle.
What?
It's just not going to last.
Who has thick candles? I don't know,
but a thick candle would last much longer on a cake than a sparkler. A sparkler sparkles really bright and then it fades real fast.
This analogy would work if people put thick candles on their cakes.
Okay, how about those number ones?
You're going like the candle store to get your cake candles?
Instead of having 25 sparklers on a cake, you have the 2 and the 5. And those are like thick and they last a long time.
Those are thick.
Yeah.
But,
okay. I made it work.
You got me there.
This is once again them just making out. Mm-hmm. This is what they do best. Very little conversation. Jenn says something like, "Oh, you haven't even asked me to be your girlfriend yet." She's trying to figure this out. And then he seductively... Like he kind of like gets on her to ask, like he's just so on her physically. Like it doesn't feel like he wants to get to know her. He has one tool in his toolbox and he keeps using that same tool.
Well, what tool would you think a guy like him would have? That's the one you would expect. Is just aggressive physical interaction, but he has nothing to say.
If I were her, I'd be like, don't you have any questions for me? No. Even when they do have brief conversations, it's her asking him stuff.
He doesn't ask her questions. He doesn't care. He's just on the show to show that he's the toughest, smoothest guy.
Jenn returns and gives Devin the rose, which was, so satisfying. And afterwards, Dylan, sweet Dylan, commends him. He's like, good, like nice.
Dylan's
nice
the best.
Yeah, I love
Dylan is an example of a guy, first of all, who clearly has smoother fists, in my opinion, than Sam M. If it came down to combat.
Oh yeah, if I were to put money on one versus the other, like in a physical fight, for sure.
Yeah, you don't see him leading with that.
Right.
He doesn't need to.
True. This is a highlight of the episode. Andy, you loved this. Devin says, "I think Thomas N. said it best. I think it's a testament to the kind of man she may want in the future."
The best joke in the history of the franchise.
You loved this.
So subtle and the biggest burn I've ever seen on this show.
Yeah, it was a roast.
It was genius.
Yeah.
It was like professional level roasting.
Sam M attempts to do this back at him, this pan-faced sarcasm.
Oh God, nice try.
But he kind of breaks into laughter and smiles. He just doesn't have the comedic ability to pull this off, but he thinks he does. And okay, we'll move on. The next day, Aaron is getting a call that his fighter pilot flight training starts, surprise, in a week, and he has to choose. There's no changing of the dates. And this is a call he's been waiting for a year and a half. Yeah, we all knew where this was going. Okay, so this brings us to group date number 2. This is Aaron, Austin, Hakeem, and Jeremy. And it's a race car date. But first, 3 out of 4 of them need to learn how to drive stick.
I was actually surprised.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't drive stick.
No, I mean, I look at Austin and I'm just like, how does that guy not drive stick? That guy's like America in a human body.
America.
He's America.
Yeah.
No stick? Come on.
Yeah. I feel like if you have a mullet, you should.
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay, so they race against each other by, who has the fastest time. Jeremy purposely fails at the assignment because he stops the car midway to have a snog with Jenn. And shockingly, even though Aaron seemed to be the best at driving the car, Austin wins by 3 seconds. Okay, so now it's the evening. Aaron has one-on-one time. He tells her that he has his pilot license and she learns about his family. I gotta say though, look, Aaron, I feel mixed about Aaron. I think last week, we have to talk about Bookgate.
Oh yeah.
Apparently the book was fake.
Yeah, it's a fake book.
Yeah, fake book.
It was a homage to when Noah gave Bennett
a book.
A book.
Yes. I don't know if this was necessary.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, fooled us, huh? Got us.
Yeah, but like, I don't know if I feel like it makes a difference.
No.
What it shows me is that Aaron is a bit of a company man.
Yeah. Yeah. He's part of the franchise.
Like, what did he know it was a fake book? What was he handed?
He was just told to do it and he did it.
What does that say about him?
He wasn't there for the right reasons.
Well, isn't that ironic? Because later on when he departs, like, I just find Aaron kind of like, I don't know what's going on with him.
No idea.
He also, for someone who is so interested in, I found him very righteous last week. He gives the book. He does all, he seems a bit like a producer pet. But then he leaves, and I believe his reasons for leaving. I don't get the impression that he really enjoys this environment that much, so I don't really understand why he was such a pet.
I think he was just there to stir the pot, almost. It feels like that's all he wanted.
Yeah, I just don't really know what he was doing here, all in all. So Jeremy now, he asks her about her past relationships, and we learn that she had to dim her successes in past relationships, and this is, one nice enough conversation. I just didn't really buy chemistry between these two.
No.
I didn't really. Jeremy in general, I like Jeremy, but I think he's a little camera shy.
I think he is too.
Yeah, like I don't know if he's truly himself in this setting. And even him asking her about, he's sort of like, like past relationships. It just doesn't feel like he's himself. No. And I almost find that endearing. Next up, we have Hakeem, and not much to speak of here, though. And Austin, we learn here that he has never been in love. And she relates to this. She feels like she's never been truly loved. But ultimately, she gives this rose to Jeremy. I was a little shocked, personally. Yeah. Not that I thought that someone else should have gotten it instead. I just didn't really see it with her and Jeremy. But I suppose out of those four guys, Jeremy was...
Yeah. Or this could have been like an eeny, meeny, miny, mo situation.
Yeah, I don't think, we know Aaron's not going anywhere. I don't think there's anything with Austin. Hakeem ends up going home at the end of this episode. Like, Jeremy was just sort of like, okay. Yeah. So now it's a rose ceremony cocktail party. Aaron, in his one-on-one time, he quickly says that he's choosing his fighter pilot school, and she does not look torn up about this. Yeah. She respects his honesty. She cheers him on. She says, if I were you, I'd do the same thing.
Yeah, regardless of flight school. Just leave.
Yeah. But then Aaron, this is another version of him handing that book to Devin. Yeah. On his way out, he was like, there's great guys here, but there's some guys who are not here for the right reasons or are not ready. And I have to tell you, I fell in love with Jenn here.
Oh, yeah.
The way she handled this.
She did exactly what she was supposed to do.
Yes. And exactly what I'd like to think I would do in this situation. Because usually you see a lead be like, oh, you're not going to give me a name. Oh, well, okay, thanks. I'll mull it over. And they start to spiral and wonder. Yeah. And she's like, so who? And he's like, well, I don't want to tell you who. And she was like, she gets a little like annoyed.
Yeah.
As she should. And he's like, well, I don't mean to scare you. And she's like, yes, you did.
Yeah, well, why are you telling me this if you're not going to tell me who did it?
Yes. She said, yes, you did. You did mean to scare me. I loved this.
It's great.
It was so satisfying.
She really came into her own here. This was her moment.
It really was. She holds him to it, and he says, it's on you to figure it out.
Unbelievable. And this is such BS, this line that people say. Let's face it, no one's there for the right reasons. Maybe a couple people are there for the right reasons. And what is the right reason? The right reason is you just want to meet someone, irregardless of TV.
Yeah, I think that to be there for the right reasons is to simply be open to it happening. Like, to me, the most right reasons person that I can think of in recent seasons is Doughton on Charity's season. Like, he had never even seen the show, and he was just like, well, I'm open to it. She's like, I like her. And then he just ends up falling in love with her. And like, but he's not like he went into it being like, I hope to get married at the end of this. Yeah. And I am brought back to Rachel Lindsay's season. I will never forget her first toast on night one. She wasn't like, I'm looking for a husband. I see, it's one of you, that kind of thing. You need to be ready, blah, blah. She was like, all I ask is that you be open. Mm-hmm. Because that's exactly, that level of expectation is exactly right. If someone is looking for more than that, for like they really think they're getting married at the end of it or getting engaged, then that's like bordering on insanity when you haven't even gotten to know the person yet.
No, he was just stirring the pot. He was just trying to make his place.
And again, being a producer pet on the way out.
Yeah, he was probably told to say that. He was very willing. It was a weak move.
I wonder if he's just easily manipulated. Yeah. But the fake book. How do you manipulate someone into handing someone a fake book?
Well, that's the thing. The giveaway that this is BS is that he was the most not there for the right reasons.
Yes.
So why are you trusting him?
Totally true.
So you know what, Sharleen? A happy scalp is a happy person.
Yes, I agree.
And the first step to happy scalp is Prose.
Yes, I completely agree because Prose takes into account your individuality. You're not like everybody else.
I'm not off the rack shampoo.
No.
I'm Andy.
You are. So much so that your shampoo, conditioner, all your products from Prose literally say Andy on, actually they say Andrew. I don't know who that's for when I see that in the shower. I'm like, who is this Andrew?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like me.
But mine says Sharleen on it. Here's my shampoo. In case you don't believe me, literally our names are on our bespoke, custom made to order hair care from Prose. And they take so much into account when making this.
Thing. It's not just made to order. Like you're like, oh, I want a shampoo that's for dry hair and smells like fruit.
Yes.
Fruit. Everyone likes fruit.
Yes.
That's a good smell.
No,
I don't want to knock it.
It's a great smell.
What's your favorite fruit smell?
Orange.
Strawberry. Okay, go on.
But when you take the in-depth hair consultation at Prose, they take into account not just your hair type and how you describe your hair, but also your zip code. Where you live plays an actual role in the water hardness, the climate where you live, like all these things we don't even think about.
And you know what else I like? I like that it takes the thought out of it because it's very stressful buying shampoo. There's too many things to think about.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about. I mean, my days of just perusing the shampoo and conditioner aisles, wondering what's best for me, are behind me because I don't have to think about it anymore. It comes to our door.
And by the way, you don't even have to use their shampoo and conditioner. You can use their other hair products.
Oh, like their dry shampoo that I love?
Prose knows their shampoo.
So Prose is so confident that you'll bring out your best hair and skin that they're offering an exclusive trial offer of 50% off your first subscription order when you go to prose.com/dearshandy.
So get your free hair consultation and then 50% off at prose.com/dearshandy.
That's prose.com/dearshandy.
Looking young and beautiful is as easy as 3, 2, 1 skin.
3, 2, 1 Skin, indeed, Andy.
Mm-hmm.
One Skin is one of our newest sponsors, and honestly, One Skin started out as a Word Watch sponsor.
Yeah.
And I tried some because we got some, and I loved it so much that I was like, are they interested in becoming a sponsor? Because this product I truly believe in. They have developed a proprietary peptide called the OS1 peptide, which reduces the number of senescent cells in your skin. And
zombie cells.
The zombie cells. And these zombie cells are what cause sagging, lines, and wrinkles in your skin. And they tend to infect the cells around them, like zombies.
Yeah.
And the OS1 peptide combats senescent cells. I mean, how cool is that? This is truly science-driven skincare.
And I want to make it clear that you can have the comfort of knowing that this company was founded by scientists.
And those scientists have found that the OS1 peptide reverses your skin's biological age by reducing the number of senescent cells, so zombie cells in your skin, by up to 50%.
That's it. That's science. Why wouldn't you want science on your skin instead of branding? Science! You remember the 80s song, She Blinded Me by Science? She blinded me with science?
Oh, really? Yeah. How's that go?
It's dun, 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 dun. She blinded me with science. You don't know that song?
And I really have been using One Skin products for, I'm trying to think of when I started, late last year. And I use it twice a day. I use the eye cream and the essential moisturizer before putting on my other products.
I use all of them too. And I don't use a lot of products. And I will say something. You told me after you had been using this for a while, you're like, you got to start using this.
I did.
And Sharleen never tells me to start using things. So I started doing, I listen to her. Sharleen is my aesthetics consultant. So OneSkin is more than skincare.
It's about skin longevity, targeting the root causes of aging so you can look and feel your best at every age.
Get started today with 15% off using code Shandy at oneskin.co.
That's 15% off at oneskin.co using code Shandy.
After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them.
Support Dear Shandy and tell them we sent you.
It's time to expect more from your skincare routine.
Invest in the health of your skin with OneSkin. So Jenn goes to the group of guys. She does what almost feels like a required move of a bachelorette. It doesn't even feel like she has real heart behind it. You know, sometimes you have a bachelorette go out and they're like, look, if you're not here for the right reasons, like, oh, like
totally. She's like, listen, if anyone's not here for the right reasons, get out. Okay, thanks.
It almost feels like she's just like contractually obliged to do this. And now as the guys speculate over what happened, what did Aaron say? Who was Aaron talking about? Devin says Aaron threw them all under the bus on the way out. And Sam M, of course, jumps to Aaron's defense. He's like, that's my boy. It's no one's place to dismiss how Aaron feels. It's such a twisting of words.
No, I think it's plenty of people's places to dismiss how he feels, but it's not how he feels.
Yes.
It's a lie.
Yeah. And
it's even if it's not a lie, it's not fair. It's cheating.
Well, and
it's like saying like no one's playing a professional sport for the money. They're just playing it to have fun.
Yeah, and the whole dismissing how someone feels, like dismissing someone's feelings, I feel like Sam M just regurgitated what Devin had said earlier in the episode about salmon.
Yeah.
He was like, you can't dismiss how salmon feels. The difference was salmon, what he had said, salmon, was about his own feelings.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Aaron, what Aaron had said was about other people.
Yeah.
So you can't use the same dismissing of feelings argument.
It wasn't feelings. It was a judgment call.
Yes, exactly. And Sam M, I don't feel is a critical enough thinker to differentiate the two.
I got real issues with Sam M.
Oh, big issues. And Sam M, oh my goodness, Sam, he's really the gift that keeps on giving. He claims that he doesn't spend any time talking about anyone else.
What does that mean? What does that even mean?
Well, it's also
does
just...
he understand what talking about other people means?
He doesn't. And if anyone had an issue with that, I'm sure he'd say that they're not allowed to dismiss his feelings.
Everything is feelings.
Okay, so Marcus now has one-on-one time. This is a lovely chat. Yeah. He says he was apprehensive about this whole experience, but now he finds himself thinking about her even when he's not with her. And Jenn says, this is what I needed.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so wholesome.
Look, if this was an objective contest, purely objective, Marcus wins.
Yeah, I agree.
Based on just the facts.
Yeah, and just on the interactions. It just feels like two humans like getting to know each other and liking what they see.
Yeah, I'm not Jenn, and I don't know her actual feelings for Marcus, but Marcus should win.
Sam M now, more one-on-one time. She asks, didn't her speech scare him? And he says, well, everything you said doesn't apply to me. I see the way I look at you.
That was like, okay, aside from its utter stupidity, that was 1 degree away from the proverbial, I don't play by anybody's rules. Just play by my own rules. I don't have any rules.
Oh, if only he saw the humor in his ways. And I'm sure that he would be the kind of person who claims that he does. But you know, this is what our issue with Sam M is, and you've said this many times, is how humorless he is.
Humorless.
He is humorless.
And the only time he found humor was when he was mocking somebody for something that they actually felt deeply.
Yes. Yes. Or mocking them for being different from him, behaving differently than he would behave. And yet they're the bully.
Or ruining his own joke by laughing.
Yeah. The biggest faux pas of all. Yeah. Jenn in her ITM says that she doesn't think you can fake Sam M's passion or sincerity. I wrote, yes, you can. Unfortunately, Devin, in his one-on-one time, she kind of breaks down here. And I loved this. I loved this exchange because I thought it was interesting. Out of all the people that she could have sort of broken down a bit with, she could have broken down with Sam M. Yeah. She breaks down with Devin and he comforts her, says that he's got her back, and Jenn feels that he really sees her. Yeah. Like she meets him. He was vulnerable with her earlier in the episode and she meets him there.
Yes.
And he embraces it. Mm-hmm. He was like, I I'm only more attracted to you for the so-called imperfections, basically.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, episode 1 and a tiny bit of episode 2, I felt like Devin might be there for and I know this sounds ridiculous, for the wrong reasons, but more wrong. Like when I say wrong reasons, I mean way wronger than the average wrong reasons, like really wrong reasons. And I think that he's there for the right reason. I think maybe Devin might be there for more of the right reasons than anybody.
You know, it's funny. I've come around with Jonathan and you've come around with Devin.
Yeah.
The two people we were not into on night 1.
And you know what? That's my favorite thing.
There's love
nothing I like more than not liking someone and having them earn my like.
Yes.
It feels so great. Who doesn't feel good about liking someone who they didn't like previously?
Oh, it's the best feeling in the world. And you know what? It feels just as good as it feels bad to have liked someone and then discover as you get to know them better that you don't actually like them that much. That hurts. Like it hurts my heart when that happens.
Yeah, it makes you feel bad about yourself. Like, oh, I have bad judgment.
Judge of character.
It's great to be proven quickly wrong about your bad judgment.
Yes.
Yeah, Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, good friends now.
Really?
Yeah, he bit his ear off.
Good example, Andy. Okay, so back with the guys now. There's a heated argument, but we're not even really sure who it's between or what's going on. There's a lot of shouting over what Aaron had said and who he was talking about. It's hard to know who's even on what team, but Spencer, the reasonable one, tells everyone to simmer. He's basically like, look, he's the one who understands, like, we're on the same team. The more we argue, the more likely it is that other guys here won't get time. And
you're going to pollute the waters.
Yes. And of course, he's right because ding, ding, ding. Jesse arrives to say the rose ceremony will now begin. And there are some guys who are not getting time. So now we have a rose ceremony. And right off the bat, we have word watch 1. Jenn says, I know what my intentions are and what I'm here for. Okay, so going home at this rose ceremony are Hakeem and Thomas A, and obviously Aaron already left. So there are 12 guys left. And as the group toasts, Sam M, in a voiceover talking about Devin, says, in the real world, I would snap him in half.
And then immediately do 3 years in penitentiary. What is he talking about?
Exactly.
What does that even mean?
What is he in the real world? Like, really? You're going to, like, I understand, it's words, but like, it's too many times talking about what you would physically do to hurt someone. It's not cute.
Well, the thing is, it's like if this was MMA, right? Or boxing, I would say, yeah, this talk is fine because that's the job of the sport. You're trying to break the other person in half.
Yes.
You're here to try to find love with a woman. Why is this about beating the shit out of each other?
Yeah.
I mean, is this
like I said earlier, it's so base. It shows his insecurity, in my opinion. It shows that he doesn't think that he can compete with Devin with words.
It's so transparent, his insecurity, that it shows his deep lack of self-awareness as well.
Yeah. Should we feel bad for him? Does it come full circle?
He's the last guy you should feel bad for.
Yeah. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the episode, Andy, and your A game. Who is your winner? I think
Devin, hands down. Yeah. This is the easiest A game ever.
Yes.
Didn't have to think about it.
Devin was the definition of A game in this episode. From everything with how he fought back against the actual bullies. Yeah. How he defended Salmon, how he handled a strip date, having body insecurities, and how he ended up being like the best one. He fully understood the assignment. And just also with Jenn, with handling Jenn, getting to know her, opening up to her.
Being vulnerable, comforting her in the way she needs to be comforted.
Yeah, and allowing himself to be comforted by her.
Yes, and keeping his cool in that very uncomfortable tension with Sam M enough to be able to be as funny as I've ever seen anyone be on this show.
Yes, the line about Thomas N.
I honestly was giving me chills. Like that was, I felt like I was getting a free comedy show. That's the closest thing I've ever seen. Do you know how often do I crack up laughing at something I see on TV?
Never. Yeah. Never. Andy has a very high bar for humor. It sometimes makes me sad how high your bar is because I think it prevents you from enjoying things. But you're just very critical of that type of humor. Like you always are like, no, it could have been like this. No, he should have said that. The timing of that, the delivery of that. But him referencing what Thomas N. had said earlier against him and like using it.
But with a total straight face, he never even snickered because most people would have been like, oh, I landed that one. That was pretty funny, right? He never snickered. He never acknowledged it was a joke.
Yeah.
It was absolute brilliance. You can't do better than that.
No. I mean, you are eating your words.
I'm eating full
because
crow.
First episode, you were like, Devin's not funny. What has he said
I
that's
am
funny?
eating, this is as big, the whole crow is being eaten. Wing by, what do they have, talons?
Yes.
Do crows have talons?
Yeah.
Or just feet?
Talons.
Yeah. I think talons are only raptors. I don't think a crow is a raptor.
I thought, don't all birds have talons that they use?
Well, talon-ish, but talons are made specifically to like grab prey and kill them.
Oh, so you think crows are just walking around?
I think crows are more scavengers.
Yeah, crows I think use their beaks more than,
Anyway, I would eat the whole crow. That's my point.
Okay. Okay, so that brings us to the fashion. Okay. I have to stress. You can see where this is going.
Hold on. Oh, I think I smell a shit sandwich cooking.
No. I love Jenn as Bachelorette. I love her as a Bachelorette. There is not a single choice she has made other than like always making out with Sam M and believing that you can't fake that level of sincerity. Other than that, I have agreed with every choice she has made. I love how she handled Aaron.
This is a triple-decker shit sandwich. It's three pieces of bread.
All I'm saying is that as a Bachelorette, I love her. However, her fashion is really not my taste, both in terms of like the choice of the pieces and the styling. I think styling can convince me to like a piece that originally I might not have liked. But in my opinion, it's too much of like the same theme. Her hair is always either down or half down, and like pulled back with just like a hair claw, which doesn't really work in terms of formality with an evening gown, which is what she wears a lot.
Makes sense.
I didn't mind the strapless fuchsia gown she wore for the evening part of her date with Spencer. It was like a fishtail gown. But even that, I wasn't like, ooh, I've never seen that before. It was more like, oh, that's not doing anything wrong. And then the styling, again, it was just sort of like, I mean, it was actually kind of similar to what I have going on with my hair right now, but I'm wearing a sundress, okay? But it just wasn't like, ooh, like punchy, like a strong choice, like a statement. It's just not doing it for me. And the rose ceremony gown, that silver.
No, I wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah, that dress, I think maybe with different styling, I could have been really like my mind could have been changed about that silver dress. But that white fur trimmed shawl thing, again, we've seen this look over and over again. A gown with a shawl, a gown with a shawl. Instead of wearing a gown with a shawl, I wonder if there could have been like a long sleeve jumpsuit. You know, or some kind of statement piece, something that is a little like thinking outside of the box. And I wonder if, just to give benefit of the doubt, I wonder if when they styled the season, they picked out all these gowns. And then when they got to Melbourne, they discovered it was much chillier than anticipated. And so they had to throw all these shawls on her.
Sorry, I need to alert you. You have a very large ant on your leg. Sorry, it's now. Oh God, it's crawling up your skirt.
Oh God!
Yeah, it's up. No, just calm down. You're gonna get it excited. Just calm down. It went right up the middle.
Okay.
Just shake. Give it a good shake. You've literally got ants in your pants. We're getting a good show.
Because that's a mole.
No, is a mole move and have 6 legs? That was very big. It wasn't like a little one of those tiny house ants. It was like a big, giant black ant. I honestly big enough. I think camera 3 probably caught it.
Okay. Yeah. Cabin in the woods. Okay, where was I? There was one dress I didn't mind. This was the second group date. In the evening, she wore a ribbed knit green button-down sweater dress. It was long sleeve. But even this, like, had it been in a different color, had this been like an olive green, I might have been like, ooh, that's interesting. But the green, the shade of green, it just didn't feel that sophisticated. It felt like something you could pick up at your local mall. And that's just where it's missing the mark for me. I'm just not seeing anything that I'm like, ooh, where's that from? I've never seen that before.
Can I say something that I think might be right?
What?
Are the clothes not wearing her?
Yeah, they're either wearing her or they're just incredibly unmemorable. Yeah. But again, I love her as Bachelorette. Yes. Okay, we will move on to our word watch. How many correct guesses were there, Andy, for the only one intention?
90.
Ooh,
yeah.
90.
Good round number.
And our winner of a whopping $229 in One Skin products. We love One Skin. They have the OS1 peptide, which reverses your skin's biological age by destroying senescent cells,
Zombie
reducing the
cells.
number of senescent cells, the zombie cells in your skin. Our winner is Abby Stickford. Congratulations. You are the winner. Please email us by this Friday at midnight to claim your prize. And Andy, what do you think the word for episode 4 should be?
Vulnerable.
Ooh, an oldie but a goodie.
Yes.
Okay, so if you would like to join in the Shandy Word Watch Fun and have a chance to win a fantastic prize, then you will guess the number of times you predict the word vulnerable will be uttered in episode 4. You will do so by commenting either below this YouTube video or over on the Instagram post for this recap. To be eligible to win, you must be subscribed here on YouTube and following us on Instagram. We will check. Yes. And you must use the numeral of the number of times, and you must include vulnerable and word watch in your comment. You can also include a nice message to Andy.
Yes.
It will not impact your chances, but you know, it'll make him smile.
It. And one last thing I would like to add, a new thing, is that make your guess at the beginning of your comment. So if you have a really long comment and then the number is at the end of the comment, it makes it harder for me.
And if you guess correctly, you will be entered in a draw, and then one name will be plucked, and that person will win. Very exciting this week.
Yeah.
$200 in CB Distillery products. They are a newish sponsor for us, but we really love their stuff.
Yeah. I just gave some to my mom. She loves it.
Yes.
She hasn't been able to sleep for God knows how many years.
Yes.
And she doesn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And finally I was like, take some of these.
You gave her some of the and we also use the shh. And we also use the ah.
And she loves the om.
So CB Distillery, in case you haven't heard, it's become our favorite source for all things CBD.
Yes.
And I will admit that in the past, I have not really seen the fuss with CBD, with certain products and brands. But with CB Distillery, I actually get it now.
Oh, yeah. I see the full fuss.
Yes. They know what they're doing. They only use the highest quality ingredients, and you can really feel the difference. And they have it in different forms, like the shh is dropper. And they also have like the stick for targeted relief. The om is gummy. They know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we are big fans. So you can win $200 in CB Distillery products just for winning. Just for winning. That's all I have to do is win.
Just for winning. I think you meant just for entering, but winning also gets you that.
Okay, so you must submit your guess by this Friday at midnight to be eligible. Okay, let's move on, Andy, to our predictions. We're going to do our 1, 2, 3, and then name. Okay?
I really struggled with this big time.
Yeah?
Just want you to know that.
Okay.
It's a big struggle.
Okay, let's do 1, 2, 3, and then the name.
Okay.
1, 2, this is for first.
Yes.
1, 2, 3,
Marcus.
Ah, you came around.
I did.
Okay. Does this need any explanation?
No.
I don't think so. Okay, in second.
Yes.
1, 2, 3,
Grant.
Devin. Okay, Grant. I respect that. And you know, Grant, he got almost no airtime this week, which I think bodes very well for his...
Very well.
Yes, for his overall experience. Okay, and Devin, I put him back on the map. Last week, I thought his mouth might be running too much, but this week, I really... not only was he just such a star, but I actually really was becoming convinced of the connection with Jenn.
Yeah.
Big time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and actually, I said the wrong name. I didn't look at my own notes. Sorry, I have Jonathan in second.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. That would have been a good reveal.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I messed up.
Yeah.
Okay, Jonathan in second. He won the stripper challenge, even though I think Devin should have won. I think she's really attracted to Jonathan, and I think this is a slow burn. We're going to see him come in more and more.
Wow.
I think you know what he does? He has the kind of quirk factor, like that, a little like a light quirk factor, but he's got the Sam M I'm hot look, but he doesn't seem to know how hot he is, I think he does know.
He's got the swag without knowing he has the swag.
Yeah, he's got the swag without the arrogance, which I think Jenn is going to pick up on. Okay, so in third, I ruined my reveal. Okay. 1, 2, 3, Devin. Okay, we both have Devin in third. Very nice. And do you need to explain it? I don't think so. What?
I think I'm reconsidering my fourth place.
Oh. Don't be thrown by my things. Andy, don't.
Okay,
commit.
Fine.
Okay, in fourth, 1, 2, 3, Grant.
Sam M.
Ah. Okay.
It's because I don't know if I can have full faith in Jenn. Like, I have to trust Jenn to be able to put Jonathan in my fourth, which would be in my fourth had it not been for my not knowing if Jenn is going to make the right decision. Because and of course, I don't know the feelings of a person. I can't say anyone is the right decision for someone.
Yeah.
They're the person who knows.
Yeah.
But Jenn has said in her past, she's made the wrong decision for a certain type of guy. And I think that certain type of guy is Sam. And I have to bet that she's a changed woman and that she's not going to make the same mistake. She says it.
Yes.
It's easy to say.
Yeah.
Harder to do. Easy to say, oh, I'm going to change a lifelong pattern.
Yeah. No, it's true.
But doing it is different. And I don't know for sure yet. I don't know Jenn well enough to know if she's going to make the right call. So Sam is still in my fourth spot.
So I see why you're doing that. And part of me thinks Sam M will make it to Fantasy Suites just because it's Fantasy Suites. However, I think Jenn really reads between the lines. And I think that there will come a point where the making out with Sam M is going to, as I said before, be the sparkler that burns out, and she's going to start to realize, oh, hey, he doesn't know much about me. He's not asking me questions. This hasn't graduated past physical attraction. Right. And I am giving her the benefit of the doubt based on her actions in other ways on this season. I think that in the same way that, you know, I was physically attracted to Juan Pablo in my season and kind of like enjoyed that for a while, I wasn't like going to do that. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, you can kind of enjoy something for what it is for a while just because it's
well, I agree
so exciting.
With you. Knowing you, I can see that's exactly what you were doing, but I don't know Jenn.
Yeah.
And I will say something else. Even if Jenn is driven to make that same poor choice she's made in the past and pick Sam, I think for optics alone, she may choose not to pick Sam because she knows it'll make her look bad in America's eyes. So I think it might be a public image decision.
Okay. Oh, wow. I mean, there are many ways to slice and dice this, but I could not separate my personal feelings from this equation, and I took Sam M off my top 4.
All right. I mean, I barely have him clinging on.
Yeah. Who were you debating between?
Jonathan.
Okay. But it's Jonathan, like Jonathan is every bit as like hot as
but there's not as
Sam
much
M.
steam there. There's like,
but it's only because Jonathan is more, in my opinion, like respectful
more
and interested.
Gentlemanly.
Yeah, he's more interested in getting to know her as a person. Like I find Sam M like almost overbearing in his sexuality with her.
And sometimes I'm not 100% sure if it's just him leading. Like I may be reading it wrong. Like maybe she's just she is attracted to him and she's receiving, but she's not really as into it as he makes it seem that she might be.
Yeah, and I think that he's coming on so aggressively that, you know, it is very powerful to feel so desired by someone.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of his thing. Like, I don't even know if it's specific to Jenn. And I'm not saying that it couldn't be. It's just that I feel like Sam M, like I said, he's got one very like reliable, consistent, and it's probably, you know, been proven time and again, tool in his toolbox. Yeah. And he's like, I know how to do this. I know how to make a woman feel desired, and I usually get my way with them. I just, I trust her.
I have a feeling Sam's got some skeletons in his closet.
Well, apparently there are rumors. I don't know if it was rumors, but you know, in the first episode when he said that his ex had cheated on him, I don't know if that was true or not, or like the ex has since spoken out or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I honestly didn't
I'm sure we'll find out more.
I did not dig deep enough into the Dave Neal archives to know the details on that one, but I probably should at some point. Okay, I think that's a wrap, Andy.
All right.
Okay, if you enjoyed what you heard today, you know what we will ask of you, and that is to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on Instagram and
TikTok,
leave us Apple and
Spotify
podcast ratings and reviews, tell your friends, and generally do all the things you do to support a podcast you enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Dear Shandy. Are you not going to rip off your shirt?
I was waiting for you to give me an opening.
Okay. It's for the true Shandies, although you did tease it. Okay, go change.
All right,
let's see. I'll bring out Ruby to enjoy. Okay, so Andy has changed shirts into what he deems to be a rippable Hanes, and he's on his knees on his chair. Let's see what happens.
All right.